Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Troll. I am Crypto Troll, bringing you the latest and the greatest in cryptocurrencies. And today, man, we're going to talk about DeFi kingdoms and some new alpha information they just dropped on the Ask Me Anything or the recent AMA, man. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a new statistic that DeFi kingdoms just accomplished and much, much more from the AMA. But before we get into that, make sure you like this video and also check out the YouTube channel. I got an entire playlist on DeFi Kingdoms and much, much more, man. So check that out. Check out that playlist. I'm telling you, it's some good alpha information on there that you don't want to miss out. I'm going to put that up there. Click the link, DeFi Kingdoms playlist. And also, got to let you know too, this is not financial advice. Everything I'm saying, I'm doing personally, and this is how I look at my investing thesis. But if you want financial advice, I always consult with a financial advisor before investing in the crypto space because we know how volatile the crypto space is. So I always know when you're getting into the crypto space, know what you're investing in and know why you're investing in it. So enough of that little spiel. Let's get to it. You know I got to talk about price first. Let's check out the price. Let's get it. So right now I'm on dexscreener.com. This is where I find all of the charts to majority of the cryptos I invest in. And today, man, we can see Jewel is currently at 16 cents, man. 16 cents. Not too bad, but not too good either. We can see down on the day 2%. So not looking good, but we already know we are in a bear market. And like I always say, I don't really necessarily look at the price. I look at what the team is doing, and the team continues to build out. So right now I'm just holding my Jewel and just seeing what the team has in store. So now we check out Crystal, and we can see on the past couple of days, man, we see it's been in an uptrend so far. We are at 27 cents right now for Crystal. So really enjoying this, liking, seeing what Crystal has been doing. If you got in at that 17 cents mark, you would be in profit. If you stayed in about a month ago, if you would have got in about a month ago, you would be in a good little profit, man. But like I always say, it's still super early, man. And we are in the bear market, so it's no telling what these projects will actually do. But like I say, if you're buying a project that continues to build and continues to update the community on what's going on, then I do believe that project will have some type of success in the future, just depending on what goes on, because some things we can't control, but the things we can control, we control it. And if the project controls it well, then I am bullish on that project. So like I said, I love what DeFi Kingdoms is doing. And right now, you could have gotten in at that bottom and made some couple of dollars of profit if you got into that 17 cents mark. So enough of the prices, enough of all the extra stuff. I know you came here for the alpha information, so I'm going to talk about the recent AMA DeFi Kingdoms just did last week. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I am going to go over some key points that I found interesting and some alpha information that I think you guys can use in the future. So gas fees. So we can see Frisky said, we made a change yesterday after extensive discussions, including with Ava. The change resulted in lower gas fees. Possibility in the future if lots of spam to incrementally increase. Shout out to Magnus. So Magnus stated, constantly monitoring. There's a limited subset of things we can tune due to EVM. Things can go exponential fast, so we are constantly monitoring. So transactions and validators. We can see Frisky basically said, we have done over 50% of all transactions on the Avalanche C chain has done all time. Restaking our validators, which started 6 months ago, and now restaking them for 1 year. Prepaid for close to a year for all the validators. So validators are paid up for a year, and they've been securing the chain, man. Like Frisky said, DeFi Kingdoms has done over 50% of all transactions on the C chain all time. We know with these DeFi projects or with these GameFi projects, there will be a lot of transactions, and I love to see DeFi Kingdoms actually handle them without too much static in between. So team changes and priorities. Well, we already know the bear market compounded with the Harmony hack has made it harder for projects to survive, have had to be conservative with runway. Entire team at one point was essentially working for sweat equity. Many stayed and worked hard and were grateful for their efforts. Had to assess each road critically and necessity of each role in a better spot, but it's tight still. Nobody on the team is earning straight wages. Everyone still earning half wages and half equity of some sort. There were a lot of people that were essentially inactive. While in this new founding phase 2 of the project, we found it was a good time to make sure the organization was cleaned up, inactive people removed from Slack channels, that the active contributing people were able to earn wages, and that decisions were made with anyone in between. So Dreamer stated Kingdom Studios is essentially contracted by the offshore entities that own the DFK protocol wallet. Kingdom Studios isn't intended to be the only contributing service provider. Prior to Downtown in market, there was a lot of creative freedom and incentives with a variable price asset. Those contributions have been great, but had to make a shift to make sure our budget was used to make sure Chain was running smoothly, that code was safe and smooth, that we worked with best partners, that we established a self-sustaining cross-chain ecosystem, that we take the vision of PvP and take it to fruition. We realized we couldn't hire internally enough people to build out PvP, so we partnered with Wisdom. There may be others to contract with and others in the community. So if you look at Kingdom Program or Kingdom Builder Program, there's a big hole in the creative side. Lots happening, but it's not in the game yet. Working on an awesome NPC to be added in Castle that will give a node to community artists. We want all of them included and highlighted in our metaverse and to have a place in-game to drive people to that content. So a lot of the breakdown right there, man, basically just cut off a lot of people that weren't a necessity to the project. And I know a lot of people on Twitter were going crazy about this. Like, a lot of people were disappointed. But you got to understand, even though this is crypto, we still got to understand this is business as well. And a lot of big companies do the same thing. So I can understand how some people are hurt behind this because they did, I guess, lose their livelihood or lost the way they're making money. But that's the role you got to play in crypto. That's the chance you take in crypto with these projects. Everything is still up in the air, and you got to understand you can't take so many things to heart because it's a new space. And even if it was a new space, even in business, startup companies cut weight all the time. So I can understand from an investor where DeFi Kingdoms is coming from, and it's actually bullish in my eyes because if people aren't doing the necessity things or the things that is pushing the game forward, then you should let them go and use that money for something else. So I'm 100% behind DeFi Kingdoms doing it. Maybe they could have been more transparent, but it's crypto, man. It's crypto. We don't know how this thing's going to go in the future, but saving money is always good for the company, especially if that money is being wasted. So something else I found interesting was the Chainlink SmartCon event. So we can see Frisky attended with Magnus. Chainlink provided tickets and lounging and we spoke at the event. Cool to see the energy of other projects building and be with like-minded individuals. Developer-centered conference and learn about some great tools, particularly around Chainlink's on-chain randomness. Had lunch with 5 Chainlink execs where they asked questions about GameFi, randomness, and automation. So very bullish talking to Chainlink. And you know, Chainlink isn't always deployed on the Claim blockchain, so there's going to be major seeing that integrate as well. So then we see the Singapore token 2049. So of all the events we've been to, this had to be the most professional and positive energy. First time meeting most of the Claim team. They are very organized and sincere. It was a lot of time and effort. Yielding in discussions with various games, many of which noted DFK gave them the ideas for their game and weren't sure how we will react to them. We invited them to the Kingdom Builder site to see what ways we can collaborate. So always good seeing projects want to collaborate. This is something else that really caught my eye as well. So many centralized exchanges therefore came to discuss potential listing of Jewel. Previously, we had not been very interested, but with the token reworks, it makes more sense for some Jewel to go off-chain to some centralized exchanges. Most of these discussions involve reduce or remove listening fees. We will pursue these discussions slowly. So very bullish. I actually want to see Jewel on the centralized exchange now, since we have 2 other tokens coming, and they're going to be the game tokens. And you know how when game tokens get listed, it's not necessarily good for the project, but since Jewel is the governance token of DeFi Kingdoms, I'm liking it to get listed. So that's very bullish in my eyes as well. So man, to the good stuff. So a lot of people were talking about what's C Jewel, what's S Jewel, you know, and how is X Jewel getting replaced? So, Jeweler 2.0, and if you don't know about the Jeweler, this is where you used to deposit Jewel to get X Jewel, but now we can see the difference between X Jewel and C Jewel. So, what is C Jewel and S Jewel? Well, C Jewel adopts the benefits gained from the V token model developed by Curve and combines that with the method for fee sharing and subscription-based locking. C-Jewel is the name for the governance token in Christabel, and S-Jewel is equivalent for Serendale. So, key differences from X-Jewel: users must lock up Jewel in a Jeweler contract for a period of time of their choice. So that's between a week and 3 years. And then Jeweler fee sharing will work more like how LP staking works in the gardens. So you claim rewards separately from interacting with C-Jewel. Then we can see C-Jewel can be used to activate premium features such as experience buffs, feature to come after C-Jewel launch. So let's keep going and let's talk about it. So this is the formula for C-Jewel. So the amount C-Jewel earned is governed by the following formula. So C-Jewel earned equals C-Jewel deposited times days locked over max days. So max days is 1095 and the minimum days is a week or 7 days. So for example, Kill has 50,000 Jewel and wants to deposit them in the Jeweler. He decides to deposit for the minimum locking period of 7 days and receives 320 C-Jewel. Well, Rolando doesn't have the same means as Kill, but he decides to make up for that by depositing his Jewel for longer. Not willing to be outdone by Kill, he decides to get 320 C-Jewel of his own by depositing 960 Jewel for the year. So, with this model, you don't have to have the most Jewel to have the most influence in DeFi Kingdom. So, the longer you actually stake your Jewel or actually lock your Jewel, the more weight you will have with governance and things like that in the game. And basically, Frisky said this really helps to reward smaller players that are long on the game to have more of an outside say in rewards. It rewards those that are really interested in the long term. Whales are still rewarded, but they can influence things very quickly without having a skin in the game. So that's major, man, because we saw when X Jewel was in, people would come in, the whales would come in, make their votes on specific things and then just sell off the Jewel. So it's always good to see we can now lock up the Jewel, and you have to actually care for the game and care for the longevity of the game to actually benefit from it, man. So very bullish. Another thing that's bullish in my eye. Then we see the Jeweler now has different interactions. I'm not going to read this entire thing. I'm just going to go down to where Hubert said. So at first, the Jeweler's only functions were withdraw, deposit, claim, and claim just converts all fees collected into X Jewel. Well, now, here you can have to set a time and locking period. If you want more Jewel, you can deposit it, and it will lock for the same period as what you previously locked. So you can have multiple sets of locking periods. And then you can also just increase your lock time and not deposit more and get more S or C Jewel. One thing that caught my eye was the number 7 actually, and this allows you to withdraw your locking period or your Jewel before the locking period is expired, but with the 50% penalty, and that's burn, man. So that's going to be major to increase the burning of Jewel, because some people are going to, especially in the bear market, some people are going to just let that Jewel burn. And when it's burning, that takes some Jewel out of circulation. So very bullish in my eyes. So what are the benefits of holding C-Jewel? So governance will utilize C-Jewel balance of users for voting on proposals. The C-Jewel system is much more resistant to bad actors who want to just buy all votes and dump their voting power immediately after. The system awards those who are long-term on the project with more voting power per locked Jewel. Then rewards, so you will have rewards by way of fee sharing, but also regular airdrops can be implemented thanks to the safer time lock nature of C-Jewel. Subscriptions will require you are holding a certain amount of C-Jewel in order to gain access to a benefit. So experience bonuses, access to premium features, discount on fees, etc. are all being considered for this system. So very, very bullish. Then we can see additional details. C-Jewel tokens will be sold bound to the wallet that generates them. You may hold your C-Jewel after the locking period has expired and still receive rewards and governance power. All C-Jewel is burned when withdrawing your locked Jewel balance. Subscriptions may require extending your locking period if it is below the minimum threshold. Subscriptions use your available subscription balance, which is the total amount C-Jewel you own minus the C-Jewel requirements of each of your subscriptions. While the maximum locking time allowed is 3 years, it is expected that most users will use locking periods of 1 year or less. So, closing remarks. Basically, Frisky says stay tuned for proposals coming next week. Excited about the C-Jewel change. It takes the good things about XJewel and reduces pain points of XJewel. Ask any questions in the chats or on the boards. We'll be sure to answer them. So, very, very bullish, very good alpha information for C-Jewel and S-Jewel coming to replace that X-Jewel from the jeweler, man. So shout out Jeweler 2.0. Very excited to see when it drops. And I'm actually going to lock up some of my jewel and just start earning those fees because we know what's coming after the bear market. Something else I just wanted to point out before we get away, man, before I end this video, we can see that pet bridges are now live, so you can now bridge your pets over from Serendale 1.0 to Crystalville, and that's something major that they've been working on. So you can now do the pet bridge live, so go check that out. And also we can see DFK duels is actually out, and we can see it's been 10,000 duels completed already. So a lot of people been dueling like crazy, and I'm very bullish on that. Like I said, this not only burns jewel but crystal as well. So get the doing those duels, guys. Let's do the duels. And last but not least, we can see October 12th, Serendale 1.0 is turning to an outpost zone. So the only things you'll be able to do is bridge tokens, item bridge, and hero bridge. And that's the only things that will be remaining for the outpost zone. And also, you got the Doc Master and Druid and the Jeweler 1.0. So that's my video for today. Just want to give you that alpha information about DeFi Kingdoms, man, because they've been going crazy. The team continues to build out even through the bear market. And that's what I like to see. Even if this project doesn't survive, you gotta work with projects or invest in projects that builds without looking up, that actually doesn't care if it's a bear market, and also that continues to update the community. Those are things I look for in specific crypto projects. So, Crypto Troll, that's my video for today. I'm out of here.